It's time for CityBeat, your source for all the latest news on the city of Thompson, only on 610 CHTM.
Welcome to CityBeat. I'm your host, Jaret Schneider, and joining me today is Mayor Tim Johnston. Good morning, Mayor Johnston.
Good morning.
Before we kick the show off, I'll give you the first minute to run things down from the last week, as well as maybe anything that's coming up this week.
Well, I can highlight a few things. It was a pretty quiet week in the city of Thompson in terms of activities for City Council. Obviously, last weekend was the Easter weekend, so a long weekend for most, and I hope people had a happy Easter as well as a safe and enjoyable weekend. I know it was a bit of a wrap-up for many of the activities in terms of winter activities, such as the ski hill and things like that, with the weather warming up. In terms of some of the events over the last few days, Council had rescheduled its regular meeting of Council to Tuesday evening, and we had a large turnout in the chamber and a number of resolutions. We also had two reports come forward from committees, one on the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee report that highlighted a number of areas in terms of the work that's been done over the last few months, as well talked specifically about the capital paving program, which I think is important. And we know that our program for 213 is going to talk about the reconstruction of Thompson Drive South from Oak Street to Cree Road, as well as we're going to be doing the asphalt resurfacing on the roundabout at the Thompson Regional Community Center, as well as the parking lot. So I think that those are good projects in terms of what we're seeing. And then we'll also do some sidewalk work as well. Also, Finance and Admin reported, and we'll be providing more information to the community. We will be holding our public meeting regarding the financial plan for 2013 in the month of April, and more information will be provided, as well as copies of the financial plan for the public to review, and hopefully attend the public meeting and provide any input or guidance they might have. In terms of anything else, I just want to remind people that there are a few upcoming events in the next week or so. The first one is Saturday at Thompson Regional Community Center. I understand that Thompson Tumblers will be holding a meet. Encourage people to take that in, as well as United Steelworkers Local 6166 will be hosting their annual hockey tournament at the Thompson Regional Community Center starting, I believe, also on April 6th. I want to congratulate Murray Nichaporik, president of 6166, and all the members. It's always a great opportunity to come down and see some really good hockey as some of the different areas of the union take on each other. So it'll be good hockey and a good opportunity to sort of move into spring. So with that, look forward to any questions the public may have. A reminder that we continue to do a lot of work in terms of the streets, both snow removal. We'll continue that, as well as it was announced that we're now moving forward with pothole. And if people are noticing any potholes, please report to the City of Thompson, and we'll get on those as fast as we can. And as always, please watch out for icy conditions with the thawing and melting and freezing that we're having almost on a daily basis.
204-677-8181. We had a busy night at Council on Tuesday with the cancellation of the last regular meeting of Council. So what were some of the things that came up on the agenda at that meeting here just on Tuesday a few days ago?
Well, there were a number of issues that were put on this agenda. Obviously, we had to postpone the regular meeting that was to be held in mid-March because of a lack of quorum, and just a busy time for many members of council not able to attend in person. So we did have a special meeting in, I believe, March 21st to approve some of the things that we needed to get done in terms of capital planning. But at this meeting, there were a number of things, I guess, that are of information and interest for the public. I think one of the ones that was very well attended in terms of the public was the approval of the conditional use for 9 and 11 Stanford Bay, and the request by the owner of that property, and the proposed use is going to be for MAPS, Manor Part of the Solution. So I was pleased that Oswald Saw and John Donovan attended on the evening and provided a presentation, and I think that I really want to commend them for the work that they've done in terms of looking at moving this community forward with some transitional housing, but also the work that they did in terms of consulting with the neighborhood and the residents of Stanford Bay. And I think that the presentation was extremely convincing in terms of the work that they put in and their vision for that conditional use. So I think that was a very positive outcome. Council also approved a number of resolutions. Pleased to once again this year be a Sapphire sponsor of the YWCA Women of Distinction Awards, and I encourage people to take that event in. I think that I've always been very impressed by the YWCA taking the opportunity to recognize women of distinction in our community, and we have some tremendous leaders, and I think it's a great opportunity to show our appreciation. In addition, we also approved 2 waivers of fees, the first one being for the Relay for Life, one of the great events in terms of fundraising in this community, and we know that cancer touches so many people, and often can be a real challenge, but the Relay for Life is a real positive opportunity for this community to come together and support those that have been impacted by cancer, as well as to raise funds. So we were very pleased as the City of Thompson to waive the fee for the use of both the C.A. Nesbitt and Gordon Beard Arena. In addition, we also had a resolution and approved the waiver of fees for the C.A. Nesbitt Arena for the annual Knights of Columbus event, which is also a long-standing event in this community and one that encourages youth to get out and get active. And of course, as part of our Master Parks Plan, Community Sustainable Plan, we want to talk about wellness, encouraging youth in positive activities. So Knights of Columbus is a great opportunity. I thank the volunteers of both those events, and I was very pleased the Council recognized and supports those events by waiving the fees.
204-677-8181. You mentioned some of the things that happened at Council, including Oswald Saw and John Donovan making a little presentation on maps. What was some of the things that maybe came out of that, and what are some of the things that are coming out of the new resolutions that the city did pass moving forward?
Well, I think that we have been working very hard on housing for the last number of years, and we always knew that transitional housing is a big component of meeting the needs that we have. I really want to commend again MAPS for the work that they've done, and moving forward to really start to be able to provide some of that housing, and I think that that's a positive move. I'm very pleased with the progress we've made overall in housing in the last number of years, and I commend Council of the day as well as the previous Council for putting into place the policies and the procedures that have enabled that, but you can't do it without proponents, and so I was very appreciative that MAPS is one of those proponents that has come forward with a plan. I often get challenged, just on an aside, that, why aren't we seeing more housing options, seniors housing, things like that? And I remind people, what we need to do as a city is make the opportunities for land available, make sure the zoning's right. But what we really need to make it happen are proponents willing to come forward and do the projects. So MAPS was a success story. We're going to do some work with some other groups. We've got some meetings upcoming on some of the other needs in terms of housing. But for me, this was a real good, positive result of some work that it's been done over the last number of years, and I look forward to that conditional use being in place and MAPS moving forward.
204-677-8181. We have the mayor. We're taking your calls. We'd like to hear from you. 204-677-8181. Now, Monday was the first day to start booking for general campsites in Manitoba, and now with them breaking the record for the most reservations ever in the first 3 hours, what can we expect around Thompson in the summer with the possibility of a higher population with more campers around northern Manitoba and throughout the province?
Well, I can tell you I'm not surprised by what took place on Monday. We've made this point to the province of Manitoba for the last number of years, not from a provincial perspective, but from a local perspective, that quality of life is very important to Thompsonites. And I love the winter. I do lots of activities, but let's be honest, summer is one of those times where people want to get out, want to get active, and often we're challenged here in Thompson by the availability of seasonal campsites, things like that. We've had the conversation with the province, including the Premier most recently when he was here, in terms of ensuring that there's availability of those sites, and there's improvements that are done on the parks. Paint Lake is an absolute gem for this community, and so I encourage people to get active. I also want to note, though, that Manitoba Conservation is doing a review of their plan, their parks plan, and I encourage people to visit their website to provide some input. We've certainly given some input to the Premier and the Minister of Conservation in terms of our desire to see more full-service campsites available, to see more seasonal campsites available, to see improvements in terms of the dock spaces, as well as the opportunity to see more cottage lot development in Thompson. The summer is important. Paint Lake's a gem. We need to keep pushing that. So I'd encourage anyone that does have feedback, and I hear often, especially after the seasonal campsite draw takes place, from people with comments, I encourage people to go to the provincial website and provide some feedback on their plan for provincial campgrounds.
204-677-8181, taking your calls, 204-677-8181. Now, sticking with some of the summer things, how is the completion of McLean Park coming right now? I know with some of the snow melting and spring coming, it's a little bit in the waits, but how is some of the progress coming with that and moving forward into the summer?
Well, unfortunately, it's not going as quick as we'd wanted just from a weather point of view, but the good news is that we completed most of the work on McLean Park last fall. So really what's left to be done is some sodding of the area, and as well as a canopy for the stage area, and then we're pretty much there. Our goal obviously is to have it ready for June, late June, because we know there's a number of community events: National Aboriginal Day, Nickel Days, Canada Day. Those are all important events, and so we hope to have it available. And the other one is we'd like to get it done as soon as possible, because summers aren't as long as we'd like them, so we want to have that facility up and running. So we're pretty much ready to go on it. Again, hopefully the weather will cooperate. We've got to get that sod down early enough that we can get traffic on it. So if weather cooperating, our plans are in place to see the completion of McLean Park and get it available for community events again.
Awesome. 204-677-8181. That's pretty much going to do it for this show. We're running out of time, so I'll give you the last minute here to wrap things up for the week, and then anything that might be coming up here in the future.
Well, again, I think that just a reminder, people, we're in a tough time in terms of the city of Thompson with the transition from spring to summer. And that means that there's a lot of work being done. There's a lot of equipment on behalf of the city out on the streets. I encourage people to take caution in around those. We're having a large number of water breaks, and just again a reminder to people that even though they think the weather's warming up, it's often in the spring when we get the most number of breaks because of the thawing of the ground. And so for any tips in terms of how people can try to avoid those types of things in terms of their pipes not freezing, things like that, please give Public Works a call. And with that, I wish everyone an enjoyable upcoming week.
And that's it for CityBeat this week. Make sure to tune in every Thursday at 11:30 for more insight into municipal government and a chance to ask Mayor Johnston more questions. I would just like to thank Mayor Johnston for coming in today, and to everyone else, have a great rest of your day.
CityBeat will be back.